Yo, what's happening, QCUMBER squad, and welcome back to the Fable sphere. As you know, website down below in the pinned comment, click on that, go join the sphere, it's completely free, that's all I'm saying about that, right? Go and do it, go and do it. Right, now, for the next Skip the Line reaction, man, we are doing Loki, Ahmed. That's another reaction requested by Frank Warner. Thank you once again for another Skip the Line reaction. Loki, he's a UK rapper, he's absolutely epic. I think I've done 2 or 3 reactions to him already. And this guy is sick. I think I did a reaction to one of his songs. It was like 7 minutes of just bars. Like, it was just, the dude's amazing. Even his daily duppy was like crazy. Guy's absolutely awesome. I think he was blackballed by the industry because I think he was just too honest. I think it was he was too genuine and too raw. Yeah, the industry can't take that. So he was blackballed for a while. I know that he's now back. I'm not entirely sure. I think the song is a bit old. So it's called Ahmed. Never heard it before. Thank you very much for this. We haven't done Loki in a while, so let's rock and roll. Let's see.
His young life was as delicate as the wing of a butterfly, and as fragile as a spider's web. For him we cry, 'cause when he dies, we all do. Did Ahmed not deserve a life? Ahmed never hurt a fly. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Certain times Ahmed wished that he could be a bird and fly beyond the sky, escape the curse of birth that he was burdened by. Ahmed never grew to let your racism internalize. Water poured from every pore in his corpse while the nurses cried. Ahmed was a beautiful person, like you or I. But are we? Ahmed could have been a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer. Could have been a.
You see you with Loki, man. Loki's hectic when it comes to this kind of thing, and I like this kind of thing. I like this kind of thing because it's substantive. He's talking about real world issues. He's talking about people and children. Just look what's happening today, and look at what's happening with Ukraine right now, where countless children that haven't even started their lives, 2, 3, 1-year-olds that have been blown up for some man's imperialist ideas. It's ridiculous. And the thing is that the sad part about it is that Putin was not the only one. And he's in history. These wars that happen around the globe are going to happen because of countries that are powerful and they feel that they can bully. They can bully people, right? So that's the thing, is that when you've got the bigger countries who want to flex their might and things like that, people, even if it's for a just cause, there are going to be people that are in the crossfire. But even if it's for a just cause, the just cause, I'd say the just causes in the past 3 or 4 or 5 decades, right, hasn't really been just causes. It's been more interests of greedy politicians, essentially. That's basically what war is, essentially. Right? And then they veil it with like, there's a just cause for doing this and a just cause for doing that. And sure, but the thing is that there is initially like a just cause to go into Afghanistan to catch the terrorists that hit down the Twin Towers. There's a just cause for that. But with that comes a lot of repercussions and comes a lot of collateral damage. And it was not supposed to be a war that was supposed to take 20 years. It was supposed to go in, get the guy, get out. This wasn't a nation building project that America had to partake. Know what I mean? You didn't have to do any of that. Go and get the guy that caused it and get out. But wars make money. So nobody wants to win wars today. People want wars. They would like to maintain. Politicians want to maintain wars. Warlords want to maintain wars. Because if you can maintain a war, right, you make trillions. You make trillions and trillions of dollars. And they don't care who dies. They don't care. Children, women. You don't see. Today a war's fought like you're playing a TV game, man. You just see a crosshair on a screen and boom. You don't see the suffering, you don't see the pain, you don't see the blood, you don't see the children scattered everywhere. You don't see any of that, right? You don't see any of that. And nobody tends to care. Even you can see right now, even with the Ukraine situation, this is going to get demonetized, I don't care. But at first, people are very, very passionate about this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And then eventually it all dies down and people carry on with their lives and the children keep dying. The children keep dying. That's unfortunately human nature. That's why when he said, it's like he was just an innocent boy, like you and I. But are we that innocent? Are we actually good people? It's precarious.
Pouring his corpse while the nurses cried. Ahmed was a beautiful person, like you or I. But are we? Ahmed could have been a doctor, lawyer or an engineer. Could have been a superstar, but his life ended here. Guess he was a shooting star, burned bright and disappeared. To some he seems to represent a menace in this hemisphere. Let me hear, make the very essence of this message clear. He was precious, many die like him every year. Ahmed was a victim of resentment and relentless fear. Now his soul surfs the waves, I wish we could have kept him here.
The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him
Okay, so obviously talking about a little boy that obviously died as a refugee. But I love that chorus, the sea that holds our secrets, right? Because war zones causes a mass humanitarian crisis. Was obviously they need to flee. And where do they flee? They're going to flee wherever they can, whether it is a neighboring country via land, right, going towards the borders, or via the sea, right? And in this case, and in many cases, where they try to, obviously any person was not going to hang around in an active war zone. They're going to try and get their families and their children out of there. And along the way, they die because of all of this. Along the way, many people die. Many people suffer through the treacherous journey of getting out of a war zone, if not die within the war zone. And then the fact that he's saying the sea that holds our secrets, the sea knows the truth. The sea knows what is happening over there. Us behind our computers and behind our TVs and listening to what the media's got to tell us or what the media doesn't have to tell us, essentially, we're not really feeling it, so it doesn't really hit us at all, because, that's terrible, but then like I said, it dies down, and eventually people don't care. But who knows the truth? Who has seen the pain? Where the pain lies, the truth that literally is there in the waters, where lives dissipate and die in those waters, right? And then the waters go calm again, and it's like nothing happened. But the sea knows. The sea knows our secrets. Love that. It's a very, very nice way of saying that, we might not know, but there's something out there, right, that knows the secrets. What's really happening. I like that.
The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him
Ahmed's ancestors introduced to Europe Greek philosophy, brought with them irrigation, mathematics and astronomy. Symbolically, irony of this horror isn't lost on me. Trying to get to Europe via Greece is where he's lost at sea. Ahmed, not Ahmed, it's Ahmed, he's that dead. Toddler lying lifeless on the beach with his back bent, arms spread, reaching the direction that his dad went. If he made it here, would have been bullied for his accent. He was captured by the ocean, paralyzed and frozen while these parasites sat and typed, analysing clothing out for resources. We all compete beyond the talk of war and peace and talk of porous borders. There is corpses on the shore of Greece.
It's so fucking sad to see this kind of thing. It's so sad to see the world that we live in. You know what I mean? And this is not new. This has happened for years. It's happened for decades. Humanity as a whole is just I've always said this, within every single human being, within every single baby born, right, there can be a Hitler or a Nelson Mandela or a Mother Teresa, right? There can be either one of those people can exist in one single person, right? It is how you bring them up to which direction they are going to choose. It's their environment, it's their upbringing, it's their nurturing. It's about showing them you either can teach your kid to be a vulnerable, powerful, giving, kind person that'll only benefit humanity, or you can teach them to be a thug and to teach them that that anger is power, and to teach them that resentment is power, and to teach them that being a tough guy is power, and showing anything less than that is weakness, and that's bullshit, because it's not even anything less than that, it's anything more than that. You know, actually being somebody who's vulnerable, being somebody who's in touch with humanity, somebody that can actually form a connection and a bond with a person to the extent that you would never want to harm that person, or harm an animal, or harm anything that's on this earth that you're here to share with other people, is actually power. That's not weakness. That's not weakness at all. Right? So to a certain degree, we were grown in this culture of strong men, of like, you've got to have the bigger stick. And in certain instances, you've got to. In certain instances, a human being is going to have to show at a certain level that they've got the bigger stick if they are being bullied and they're being. But in today's world, the strong men are too strong. You know what I mean? They've got the bigger stick, and you can do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. Right? And they're blatant about it. They even laugh in your face. Today's politicians just laugh in your face. You think politicians used to be scared of people, used to be scared of the population. That was the idea of democracy, was that you're scared of the population that put you in office. You work for the people, not the other way around. But today they laugh in the people's faces. They laugh in your face when people show disdain, or when people show complete dislike for what they're doing, contempt for their actions and their policies. They laugh at you. It's like, we're never going to get arrested. We're never going to be put in jail. You're going to do nothing about it. That's the world we live in today.
Found a teddy next to where his body was found. The sea swallowed him, politics has swallowed him now. And those responsible, Ahmed's goals will follow them now. To the family, all we can say is we are sorry he drowned, because
the sea, it holds our secrets.
What he actually says about, I apologize, I'm pausing there, but what he actually says there about the politics is 100% correct. And that's probably what's even more disgusting about something like this, is that war drives these people out of their countries. They then die in the journey trying to get to a bit of peace. Right? And then afterwards they'll take a story like this, which is obviously going to hit major headlines, but each side of the political field, each side of the political aisle, they don't care about the boy. They're just going to use it. They're going to use it to make a point, a political point on either end, to try and like politically hurt their opponent. That's all they care about. And that's how politics is today. They don't care about any of these tragedies. They don't care about any of them. All they want to do is to take all of these stories and then literally just use it against the political opponents. The tragedy of the thing, they don't care. Do you think they go to bed at night, they go to sleep at night, or their families go to sleep at night saying, and they can't sleep because of things like this? Not in your life. This means nothing to them. Nothing. How can we take these stories? How can we manipulate them, feign interest, virtue signal a little bit, and throw it in our political opponents' faces? And the political opponent will do that in reverse, essentially. That is what happens with these kind of situations. And that's what's even worse than the actual tragedy itself, is that the tragedy gets used and touted for political points. That's the crazy thing. It's sickening.
The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul.
they say, let him drown, what have you done? Let him drown, no, what have we become? Don't let him drown, no, don't let him drown. And they say, let him drown, what have you done? Don't let him drown, no, what have we become? Don't let him drown, please don't let him drown. Ahmed could have been you, and Ahmed could have been me. We need to understand the policies that put him in the sea. We need to understand why it is the beach is full of dying kids. A colonial metropole people wanna reside in. If he did, would he make it or fall to something that's deeper? End up like Jimmy and Benga or Khalid Abu Dharifa. A picture by Khaver Paulus on the beaches of Tarifa made me see some would grieve more if Ahmed was a creature with 4 legs. Then they would consider him legitimate. Those like him braving barbed wire, burning off their fingertips while force.
Yeah. Some people would grieve more, that's 100% correct. A lot of people would grieve more if it was a creature with 4 legs. You know what I mean? And even that is feigning. I still believe that is feigning. You know, a lot of people will say like, oh no, like if it was animals, like animal activists, like go off the chain when it comes to abuse against as animals, as they should, because I'm an animal lover myself, and I don't believe you should be harming or abusing anything with a heartbeat. But a lot of the times people will be like, watching an animal die or whatever else is better than watching a human being die. You know what I mean? They've got more affinity to the animal than they do for the human being, and they justify it in these ways, and like, an animal can't speak, and it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. If you cannot respect humanity, if you can't respect your own race first, if you can't hold your own race, right, dear, above everything else, you're not going to hold anything in a high regard going down. That's all just virtue signaling. It's all bullshit. If you can't sit there and say that children are more important to this world, that are my own race and our own people, right, are more important than animals. And it's not to say that everything's important in this ecosystem. But if the human race doesn't exist, nothing exists. That's basically the way it works, right? And if we can't respect our own race first, for us to say that I respect an animal over a person, I'd rather watch a person die than a dog die in a movie. That's just, you're not respect. Like you have no respect for your own human race. And if you've got no respect for who you are, if you've got no respect for your own house first, there's no ways that you respect animals. It's all just fucking virtue signaling. Sure, you can love animals, right? But it's all just to show that, oh no, I'm this nice person who's an animal lover. We're animals, and we're integral to other animals in this ecosystem. We're actually quite up there on the hierarchy with regards to the ecosystem. So I think that we should probably try and get our house in order before we decide that everything else matters more. I'm not saying that doesn't matter, that it matters more than human beings.
Then they would consider him legitimate. Those liking braving barbed wire, burning off their fingertips while force alien. That mentality still exists as privilege. The difference between an expat and an immigrant. For Ahmed Somani and Ahmed Rasul Muhammad, when you take others' humanity, it's only yours that's stunted, not a swarm. There are sisters and brothers, that's the sum of it. The cockroaches here are in the media and the government, not the sea.
The sea, it holds our secrets.
100%.
The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by.
Nope. Ahmed didn't know the politicians he was murdered by, as don't thousands of people and children who have died at the hands of these fucking greedy pricks.
Wait a minute, did you have something to do with it? Yes. No, that Navy SEAL training was just for laughs. Wait a minute, you trained as a Navy SEAL? No, how did you know? Who said anything about Navy SEALs? I'm just a simple little terrorist. Stop interrogating me, damn it, you're good at this!
I see what he did at the end there. I like the fact that he actually flipped that. So that's obviously a famous comedian. I can't remember his name now. Where he does, that's probably his most famous act is Ahmed the terrorist, right? I've seen it before, so I like what he did there. What Loki did there is he basically flipped it and he says, this is what people care about. You know what I mean? That they will portray the name like Ahmed, which is a legitimate name of a legitimate culture, and then they'll stereotype it into a terrorist type caricature, and then everyone can laugh at that, and make a joke and a mockery out of that. But there's something a lot deeper that is underlying there that sort of undercuts what's actually going on in the real world, right? So it's almost like you take a name like that, but a lot of people go and laugh and talk about how Ahmed the terrorist, you know what I mean, you'll hear that everywhere. You'll hear it trending everywhere and things like that. Ahmed the terrorist is something that's funny and trendy and easy to put around, but you won't hear the Ahmed the kid who died at sea because he had to flee a war, right? So I like that he did that. So he says, this is what these people laugh at, right? This is what these people will share. This is what becomes popular. But the kid who died with the same name, who wasn't a terrorist, was just like you and I, who had dreams, who wanted to become something, right? That doesn't entertain me. Therefore, I don't need to see, I don't need to listen. The three monkeys. Yeah. Anyway, that's Loki for you, man. That's Loki for you, man. Anyway, Frank, great one, man. Thanks very much for this. I haven't seen this one, so I appreciate that. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, man. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.